Why hello there everybody, my name is ThreatX and welcome back to Annihilate The Spance. Everybody, this is going to be a ad hoc skirmish video. So I realized that I released my very first video on this game yesterday, starting the story, doing a tutorial and diving into this brilliant gem of a game. The thing I didn't really cover though is the actual scale of this game, because if you look at the first few missions of the game, you have very little amount you can build. There are tiny amounts of units available to you. You cannot even build capital ships yet. I think I did a disservice to this game, so I'm doing this video today to kind of do a random skirmish mission. There is no story limitations, it is simply just 1v1. Can you defeat your enemy with every single unit available to you in this game's faction? So in this little mini series I'm going to be doing, I'll probably do three, one for each faction. We're going to be diving into a game with the Vaalkorei, which is actually these green guys over here. Now, out of all the factions, they are my favorite. They are really well put together. They have a lot of versatility and they like big range, big carriers and big swarms. It is a great faction. So as you can see here, we've got a skirmish button, right? So you can, if you want, at any point run into this game and do a skirmish mission. It actually works quite well, I believe, because it has a very interesting, well, I guess, approach to difficulty, which we'll go over in a little bit. For now though, you can actually go up to, if you want, 9 people in one battle, which is a lot, by the way. My graphics card will weep at the end of this video, I'm pretty certain at that point. And also, you can do customization in terms of teams. So at this point, there are 3 factions. You've got the Contalion, the Vaalkorei, and the Tychon. I will say, as far as I'm aware currently, the Tychon are currently in, I guess, alpha. They have buildings and you can play them, but they're not exactly finished yet. So I think they're missing their capital ships and whatnot. But regardless of that, we are, of course, going to be playing as my favorite faction. So let's go and pick our color. I think we would be green. Actually, you know what? No. I want to be blazing like the sun. We're going to be bright yellow. I'm going to be on team A. And, of course, I will play as Vaalkorei. I will do the 1v1, though, because otherwise I feel like if there's too many people in the same game, it might offset and be a bit too crazy for people to grasp what's happening, because it really does get crazy. And we just have a guy playing as a Contalion as a second player. I'm sure it'll be fine. Now, this is where things get interesting. It's AI difficulty. So in most games you get easy, normal, whatever. It's the AI has different preset personalities. In this game, they decided that that was a thing of the past, and simply you have APM. If you're not aware, APM is actions per minute. So you can, for instance, have the AI do 60 actions per minute. So I guess that's okay, right? He does a few clicks here and there. This guy's limited to what? Doing 1 command every second? That's pretty decent, right? You can keep going. You can make him more and more aggressive, and eventually you can just put him on infinite APM. So if there's something to be done, the AI will do it right away. Now, of course, me being myself, I'm going to be playing on this mode because I'm crazy. And also, at this point, I have nearly 100 hours experience in the game, but I'm sure that won't come into effect anytime soon. Regardless, let's get started, shall we? So, like a very classic skirmish mission, we start either side. Now, this, as I said, is a bit different than before. There are no limitations. I literally can go and create a capital shipyard, which is the size of my base, or I can go and create tiny little squadron yards, which create fighters and bombers. There are many different options here, but of course, this is a classic skirmish, so I've got to try and actually win instead of just being myself. So first off, let's try and get ourselves some money income. So we want to get matter going as fast as possible, because matter, of course, is the essence of this game. It is the main resource. If you haven't got it, you're not doing anything. So we want to start off by getting that down, and maybe some energy as well. Depending on what faction you play as, they have very different layouts of buildings. So the Vaalkorei's buildings tend to be quite large, as you can tell compared to the last one if you watched the first video, but they do fit in quite well at the same time. The units, however, are a bit different. The units tend to take a lot longer to produce because, honestly, they're a lot tougher. They have a lot more versatility, but of course they build in like sometimes more than double the time. So we're going to put down some of these squadron yards. You can see we've got 4 options here. We've got some drones, we've got some, I guess, more assault fighters, bombers, and miners. So I want to try and get a good economy going as soon as possible so we can start reaping in the cash when it comes to getting matter on the run. My enemy's already started his own base as well. He's gone for his first yard. He's going for mediums, which could be a problem. Now, this guy we're fighting is the faction that I was playing as in the first tutorial missions. So we kind of know what they're going to be like-ish, but we haven't seen anything on terms of their full roster at this point. Now, how do we start? I feel like what we want to do is definitely get energy down, because this thing takes ages to build. In fact, I think it can tell you somewhere. 30 seconds, a bit of time. Until then, we only have +1 energy a second, and you need a lot of energy to build any of these big yards. So as weird as it sounds, We're going to let that run, and then when we can, we're going to start producing ships to counter my enemy here. So he's already started building more and more, and he's building some Ortels. These are general assault ships. They're kind of big, but they haven't really got any specializations at the same time. So nothing really too scary there, in my opinion, at least anyway. Okay, let's get some big yards down ourselves, and we're going to start trying to produce some counters. Now we have a absolute roster of choices here in this faction. So we've got the Harriers general assault ships, we got drone interceptor carriers. This is honestly one of my favorite ships in general, like in multiple games, because this little guy simply just has a point defense laser. He will sit at the back of your forces and just shoot down missiles while spawning in infinite amount of drones. I'm not even joking. I think he does it every 29.3 seconds. He will produce 6 sparrows. Now, as this game has absolutely no unit limits, and as he sits at the back, in theory, if you have a very large front line, you can produce infinite amounts of carriers, which then in turn produce infinite amounts of drones. Yeah, things get spicy in this game. That's why I'm obsessed with it. I can't overstate that enough. Regardless, I don't want to just have carriers. I want to have these guys to counter enemy swarm, but I also need to get some general units as well. So we're going to have a Harrier, which is this generalist. We're also going to have a torpedo vessel, and I think finally we will have a flycatcher, which is great against point defense. It's got a lot of middle guns, which can destroy drones quite quickly. The enemy's on their way. Now, it looks like they're spawning initially a bunch of point defense ships, which actually would do quite well against my drone spam, but I got a lot more ships than them. So you can kind of tell already, my basic ships take 50 seconds to produce. Theirs are producing in 30 seconds. So you can already tell there's a bit of a difference here. I got to be careful. If I talk too much, I'm going to mess up the economy and we're probably going to lose. We are playing on technically the highest difficulty. We've got to be careful with that. So for now, I'm going to try and build some more fusion yards, and I want to get to a point where I can build a relay buoy. Now, in this faction, you get logistics by expanding your base's area of effect. So you could do 2 with 1 stone, which is pretty good. We need a little bit more energy though first. Okay, they're attacking my base. The base can regenerate its own HP, so I'm okay letting it tank for now. There's not that many enemies in, danger at this point. It should be fine. Done. Okay, speaking of buildings, how are we doing, guys? 5 seconds, and then we produce our very first command cruiser. And I say to cruiser, this is actually a frigate. It's a very small ship in the grand scheme of things. Produce the drones, my friend. Is he going to do it yet? There you go. Behold! Imagine this if you have 100 of them, which is very easy to do in this game. It can be insane. Regardless, let's keep building out. Now, I also want to try and get myself some storage. So we're going to fit some of these guys in, because the more storage we have, we can build bigger buildings in one go, and also have reserves of money as well if we need them. So we'll build this down the middle here. I'm going to make sure we have a good reserve of energy if we need it. Let's also have a look around a bit as well. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to put down some matter storage. Now, do you know what? Plan B. Economy, economy, economy. In these games, I always think economy is extremely important, and I want to make sure we have a very good basis for that. So I'm going to actually use my base extension to build a lot more income, and hopefully that means we can produce a lot more ships and push the enemy back a little bit. You can see as well, my first ships have been spawned in, and they're doing some damage here. No one's really won either side, and we are taking damage in the main base. So that's actually kind of a dangerous situation to be in. But as the enemy's spawning low-level units, I'm not too worried. It needs to be dealt with soon, though. Okay, so look. What we can do as well, we can in theory build some static defenses if we need to. And I need to get rid of these guys from my base. So we have a very nice Gorse turret. These guys are pretty good. They shoot medium and large vessels on purpose, and they're quite good at their job as well. So if you put this down soon, when they start being produced, they'll start doing some damage to these Ortel spams, which should work out quite well. The enemy at this point space is actually quite large, and I have been slacking. It's probably because I've been talking too much, so we have to really get moving and trying to catch up to our enemies here. Let's get ourselves some more stuff. So I'm going to use a standard base layout for these relay boys, just because I'm a bit weird with these kind of things. So we're going to just produce them out like so, and get more mining squadrons as well. The turrets have been produced. They should now start dealing damage, and we should see the enemy be pushed back from my main base here, which will repair itself, I think, maybe. We'll see how it works out. Let's get some more cruiser yards, and these guys are all going to be producing drone carriers as well, because it's my favorite thing in the universe. Excellent. So, what about nearby? So I was going to say I was going to produce some additional miners, but honestly, there's not really any asteroids down here, so it's not a good idea. Instead, we should probably just produce some regular units which can assist us in the battles ahead. So these are just going to be the corvettes. They produce quite quickly and should be quite good against enemies en masse like this, because these are mostly single target enemy units here. Good. So, by the way, if you build units forward, because the game is technically an Autobattler as well with the unit commands, when you do a wave point, that is their life. They will, after that point, they will do the objective, then go to whatever's closest. So, with that in mind, as I now have turrets in front of my base, their top priority is to attack these turrets. At least for now, anyway. Okay, cool. Let's get some corvettes down. Corvettes have a lot of choices as well. We have the generic Gorshak, which is good against everything. We have some very tiny but quick to build Thrushes, which are really good in swarms. We have some Guy Falcons, which have very good flak damage, so they're very versatile. In fact, saying that, let's put some down. And the last one was a Shrieker, which is strong against armored targets. The enemy's not really produced any of those yet, but they will probably do that soon. I really should start playing properly, shouldn't I? Or we might actually lose. That'd be pretty embarrassing, right? Okay, so energy is looking brilliant. I think we need to try and get some more income, though, if we can. Now, you might notice, as I'm building more and more of these mass yards, I'm reducing efficiency of additional yards. So you can't just spam forever and have an infinite economy, but you can make it a lot better than it is right now. Good, so it does seem we're getting to a point where we might start actually pushing these guys back a little bit, but the enemy has started producing heavy yards. I'm behind. I need to focus. We need to get ourselves in action here. So cruiser yards for this faction are quite large, so we actually can't fit them in anywhere. We'll have to build a new base for it specifically. But what we can do is produce some bombers temporarily that can help against armored units and bases and that kind of thing. I don't know if that's going to be ready in time, but having more units in an infinite battlefield, it's always a good idea. Okay, let's get more units down. You two, can you be Shirkers, please? Yeah, we're pretty much at the point where we're killing them as they come in now, but we haven't started pushing the front line forward, so we've got a long way to go. The second base is going to be up soon. In fact, it's up right now. Let's get another array of income units. I'm going for the long haul here. What I'll do next is to start building some cruisers. The cruisers in my faction are stupidly powerful, but they take a long time to build. If we get going, though, we should be good to go. Excellent. I'm also going to try play a little bit slower, because I want to make sure we get across information through on this game, and also I want to make sure we unlock the big capital ships. If I rush too quickly, we may not be able to see them, so there's something to bear in mind there. Okay, with some gaps, I'm going to put in more storage for energy, because I think the reason I'm doing this, by the way, is to build a capital ship. You only need 500 energy. It's quite large, so you need to make sure you have a good amount of storage here. Good. So now we've got to a point where we're actually now in front of my base line, so I won't be taking damage on the turrets, we'll be taking damage on the ships. And as you can see, my Cormorant swarm is really starting to heat up a little bit here. We've got a lot of drones floating around and kicking some ass here. Depending on what they build, though, which is coming out very... They got Barvex. They could change this very quickly. So Barvex are brilliant. Barvex are anti... They shoot like big flat cannons that will hit anything in its radius and blow them up. So brilliant against swarms of small units, which is not good because I have swarms of small units. Damn it, why? Why is this happening to me? Regardless, let's keep building. So we've got another base on the way, and this one we're actually now going to produce the cruiser yards. So they're a bit expensive, but once they get going, we should start seeing them produce units for the rest of the time itself. And of course, if they're building capital ships, or sorry, cruisers, we're not the capital ships yet, we also want to be building our very own. So I'm going to be going, there's a lot of options here, so bear with me. We're going to be going for... Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll quickly go through them. So we've got flanking units, we've got missile AoE, generalists, Rook, very decent ship by the way, armored assault, very quick, very squidgy, but very deadly. We have the artillery drone carrier. Can you imagine combining artillery with drones? That's a great combination. You already know what I'm going to pick, don't you? You never know, maybe I'll go for something else. We have Firehawks, heat assault. And finally, we have a tractor beam projector, which for some reason goes off the UI. I don't know why that's happening, but it's what it is. Okay, so we're going to go for an artillery drone ship for now. And also, I want to build myself one additional cruiser yard to have 2 of them. So these effectively will be able to spawn units like the Cormorants, while also having the ability to snipe. And I mean snipe out the enemies that are at the back line as well. Excellent. I've got to be careful though, because I'm going a bit too fast, and we might accidentally kill the enemy before we get to carriers. Sorry, cruisers. before we get to the capital ships. So these guys actually spawn in Shrikes, which was the medium version of the drones. So these guys do a lot more damage than the smaller ones, and they spawn in squads of 24 every 27 seconds. Yeah, this it gets pretty spicy, this game. It keeps going, mate. It's great. Let's get some more smash storage down, and also let's produce some more yards. Now, depending on what they're going to build, I think it might be prudent to get myself down a few more torpedo vessels, which are... do you know what? No, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to produce some Shrikes. Now, they're not Shrikes, sorry, the Kestrel. We haven't used waypoints yet. They are very useful, but like I said, I want to be a bit careful with how fast we kill this AI, so if I even can get that far. So I'm actually going to be doing a little waypoint where I send them around and attack the enemy base by behind. Now, the reason I like this is because these guys have amazing AI. They're artillery harassers. They move towards the enemies, they have a bunch of cannons on them, they shoot at range, they spin around, and then do another attack run afterwards. Basically, if the enemy has short range defenses, yeah, they're not going to be able to do literally anything at all against my ship at any point. It's great, trust me. Okay, let's try and get down some more economy again. And what we'll do, after that, we're going to go and produce... Am I building too much? I'm a bit concerned. We might be okay, we may not be okay. I'm not really certain at this point. We're going to do the copy on the other side. We'll have some more Kestrels to the left-hand flank. And then we're going to go and try and produce some capital ships. So let's get these guys off this way. And done. Excellent. So we haven't seen them yet. They're going to take a few moments to get built. 1 minute per ship here. Now, my group is really smashing through. I think the problem is the AI hasn't really countered this. This is a problem. Like, every time they go into a battle, they have to fight countless drones, and their armor values aren't that great. So there are a lot of options they can do to defeat this. I mean, for instance, if this AoE cannon gets to this line, it'll probably kill most of them in a few seconds. But can they get to my line? I think that's a bigger question to ask right there. Speaking of lines, we have another 20 seconds and we can move our units forward. And we've also got another minute, just over a minute, to get our very first cruisers online. Now, as everyone here wants to see some gigantic capital ships, let's produce some gigantic capital ships. We'll put one down here. It's going to take a while to produce it. Unfortunately, I can't delete units in battle, can I? I can. Good. So if the worst comes... They're pushing me back. Interesting. So they have a bit of resurgence here. Remember, the AI is intelligent, though. So if they're under attack and they're being pushed back, they won't just sit there rambling and let themselves be killed. No, they're going to pull back and stay at their maximum range, like any logical ship would do. It's a great system. Come on, my friend. Nearly there. We're so close, yet so far. Let me try and build some more matter silos, because I've unfortunately got a lot of wasted income. I know I could build more, but I really want to just show you people off the big ships here. It's too big. No. Why is it so large? How big is this? So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 10 slots. So if we go down here, and we build one at this location, that should be enough to fit it in, I believe. But yes, the chunky capital shipyard is potentially too powerful for even the game itself to build. Oh, look at these torpedoes. Beautiful. We just took down the enemy armored assault ships. They are pretty tanky if you haven't got heat artillery or high piercing damage, but we've got that co of our friends here. We're actually arrived back at the defensive location. So I'm going to build one of these arc turrets. They're really fun. They just flat out do AoE death attacks with giant Tesla cannons. Pretty much the best thing you can imagine. We'll also put some money down some more Gauss turrets as well. So this will be produced in around 30 seconds. It's a bit of time, but we'll get there eventually. Speaking of new things, though. Oh, I need to... it's still a bit too big. I'll tell you what. This actually might be more efficient doing it this way. Let's go and build another thing nearby. Because I don't really have an issue building tons of these bases, because it gives us more logistics for the future. When you're playing properly, like if I do like a 4v1, which we might do at the end if we're having some spare time, I would probably have been building constantly. My base would probably be like this big at the end of it. I would have a monstrosity. Speaking of, by the way, check out my Kestrels. So these guys are around the back now. They are doing some damage on the enemy capital shipyards. Very handy. You can see that they do exactly what I said. They attack, they retreat, they go back in again. And enemy units had to move forward as well to try and stop them, so it reduced the amount of enemies on the front line. Very handy strategy flanking in this game. Oh, it's been produced. The first Osprey has been unlocked. It's got a lot of guns on it, but the main one's this big rail gun and cannon over here. And it's also produced its first wave of strikes, which are barreling towards our enemies and attacking them immediately, killing their first enemy within literally a second. Very nice. Okay, capital shipyard is a go. Let's go. I can't afford it. Damn it. It costs 1,000, right? Yeah. Bit expensive. One of these actually costs you 80 logistic points. Very expensive. I think that's more. I think you get 60 from building the buoys. So very big things we're looking at here. Of course, I probably should have built more economy at this point to increase my output a little bit. I'm a bit worried about the front line again. Hopefully it doesn't go too far ahead, because once we get these extremely long range artillery, yeah, they're a bit too long range. They're great. I love them. Done. Okay, so capital shipyard is under control, and we'll be producing one very shortly. So what do we want to start with? We have the anti-armored artillery. We have a heavily armored assault vessel, the Rock. I love this one, by the way. Very good at pushing front lines forward. We have a fire support drone carrier. We have an armor debuffing fleet distractor, and we also have a big broadside anti-base siege unit. It's like a giant pirate ship. It's amazing. But we're going to go for the carrier. I can't help myself, okay? This thing really doesn't tell you what it produces. I don't know why that's not in the UI here, but it actually produces, I believe, am I wrong here? I think it makes sparrows and magpies, which are the bombers. Don't quote me on that, though. We'll have to see what it does when we get to it. In fact, I would say, I think in episode... I think it was episode 3 or 4 of my main series, we will fight these guys at some point, so it's going to be pretty cool. So while we're waiting, let's go and produce some more economy. And I think after we build a few capital ships, we'll step things up and knock off the AI here. Nice. Their base is quite big compared to mine, because I've been quite, I guess, casual with my production. I guess we could produce some additional units, though, in case they do start pushing us back, which they are. They have actually started getting big things through. So the question is, what do we want to produce first? Do we want to go and get ourselves additional big ships, or do we need small ships in the interim to keep them at bay? Now, the good news is, because I got these Ospreys, they will snipe out any big units in the back line. So if they have, like, a missile unit, or, like, if they have, like, for instance, a carrier or something producing units at range with missiles, I would be sniping them out of the battle quite quickly. Okay, also, the second wave of Ospreys have now been completed as well, so we're going to have even more of them in the future, which is crazy. Gets built another fusion power. Some energy doesn't have scaling effects, by the way, so you can literally build them forever. You just continue to get more and more energy, which is pretty handy, I gotta say. Cruiser yard, no, let's get more capital shipyards. Go. So, second up, I want to get myself the anti-armor artillery. Very good long range against capital ships. Depending on what they build, it might save my life. They're building the Tranonius, which is the armored generalist assault ship. Very good at what it does. So I'm be happy that we have our counter to it out right away. Cool. What do we do now? Should we just keep building more ships? Let's get started, shall we? Build these down here. I'm just going to continually build a very large array of additional ships, and we can actually use, if we want to, the excess here to just build more mass arrays. It's not perfect because the, well, I guess how they've been laid out, but it does, I think, work quite well. More and more power for the power gods. Give it to me. Look at the size of this ship compared to what we're already producing. It's, big. It's powerful. It's majestic. I cannot wait. Let's get ourselves as well a new flanking force, shall we? So a very, very nice ship this faction has. This faction's got a lot of generalists, but also they got a lot of specialization with, like, how versatile they are. We're going to produce a single waypoint, and it's going to go around the back here and cause havoc. So I want to get down some Skirmishes, I think it was called. These are long-range flanking torpedo vessels. They're very good at harassing enemy fleets at range, and they cause a lot of danger. And we'll do exactly the same on the other side. I want to make sure we don't touch that cruiser yard, though. We want to bring our units into the main battle course in the front line. We're going to have a bit of trouble here. Done. Okay, cool. So I am being pushed back again, which is a bit concerning. I think we need to start stepping up our attack forces here. So what the enemy got? They got a lot of medium and not a lot of point defense. So, of course, more spam would be quite effective here. So what we're going to do for the interim is actually build very small corvette yards. So if I go around here and we start producing swarms of these anti-armor vessels, they'd be very effective against this kind of enemy. They'll blast through any medium ship's armor pretty much immediately and just knock them out right away. We're also going to build some general flak, and we're going to get ourselves even more on the side here. So I don't want to build these guys forever. I'm just building a bit of a variety. Now, in this game, my philosophy is always have a variety of everything. So we have a lot of options. I just like being generalist. Now, of course, there's going to be people that are better than me and they are obsessed with having the optimal build strategies, but I just like countering what my enemy's doing and trying to get a good balanced fleet while I play the game. And let's go this way. Done. So also, they are pushing in quite quickly, so I want to get myself some torpedoes down. That can really help push them back. And are we about to see the, yes! Unlock the arc cannon. Won't be that effective against the Trandonius, but it should do a bit of damage here. It's moving in. We're taking some damage, but it should be okay. Once that goes down, we should be able to push him back again. We haven't seen the first carry out yet. We've got another minute to go, but it is on its way. It is going to come here soon. So let's try and get ourselves some additional big units, shall we, to try and offset their power. So what we'll do, we're going to build up in the middle a little bit, and we're going to build a lot more utility ships, a lot more general damage, a lot more cruisers, all those kind of things. They are actually pushing me back. It's because I spent too long messing around. Oh no, look how big their base is as well. Maybe I've tempted fate too much and I've squandered my chance of victory here, which would be pretty funny. Okay, so I'm going to get some missile spam, and I think tractor beams would be pretty handy as well. So the issue right now we're dealing with is the enemy's built long-range heat artillery. Now these guys are pretty powerful because they're long-range heat artillery. Simple as that. So they actually are attacking me from the back line and they're shooting in towards me. Now my Ospreys are doing a good job. They're trying to snipe them out, but they're not doing it fast enough. The enemy's forces are causing me massive issues right now. So we either need more artillery or we need to kind of clear through their front line a bit faster here. Either way, it's not looking good for us right now. So let's try and build more of these cruiser yards. I mean, get them into the battle immediately. So what do we need to counter thing? I think with some rooks would be good, so they can hold the front line when we pushed away from my base, and they can take damage and do a lot of damage quickly to the enemy's small front line at the same time. So I want to build 2 of these for now, and we're going to build some generalist units to assist as well. So yeah, let's try and just build a big group of units here. We need more backup anyway. I need more. There is good. Some more units coming out. How are we looking on the carrier, buddy? 10 seconds left until the first capital ship has been produced. The enemy has had theirs for a while here, but mine are let's just say a bit more spicy. They'll be coming up very soon. Now I gotta say the S faction is really cool. We'll do a video on them next probably, but I gotta say the like small spammy kind of stuff, I prefer having big powerful ships, but that's just me. Why hello there. That's a nice carrier you'll have. Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready. Give it a few seconds. It will start activating. There you go. Look at this. So it produces strikes and bombers, and then it launches long-range missiles, and it has a giant beam cannon. Yeah. This thing's great. I am actually losing, by the way. I've got to pay attention to what I'm doing. Oh, no. Okay, build more units at the front. I've squandered it. The chance has been squandered. Okay, more units to be required quickly. I've been wasting my time. We might be losing. Now, how do we deal with this? They got a lot of heat artillery. I think generalists will do a good job here. I think I may have lost, though. This is the funny thing. I may have lost because I was messing around too much. I can't believe it. Okay, we can maybe offset damage by just spawning in random stuff in front of the yard until my big units come around the back. But honestly, this is looking like a dire situation. We may have lost. The enemy swarm is too much. They are going to my main base. It is going down. I don't know if we can survive this. There's too many. We need the carrier. We need the swarms. No. Oh my god. I can't believe it. Okay, in a second, there's a big chance I can call in something powerful. Well, not powerful, but HP heavy. I'm going to give it a few seconds. My base is looking very dodgy. We need 100 more energy, and I can call it in. We have the carrier getting closer, but is it going to be close enough time? The base is about to go down. Oh, no! Okay, I'm going to have to build some random turrets in front. This is random, I know, but it might distract them long enough to keep my base alive. It's not worth though. I lost! No, I can't believe it. What time is it in the video? 30 minutes. Guys, that was a look at the Vaalkorei faction. How about this time I just play? let's get started, shall we? Now, let's go and put down some units right away. Get the fusion core down as well. Hopefully, we can absolutely kick some ass here. I'll tell you what, we're going to open very strong with bringing in additional money first. So we're actually going to build a third mass right away. I'm going to start plopping down some of these squadrons. They don't actually require energy income, so they're very, very handy right at the start here. So I need to put one energy here, one more energy here, and we got some room at this location. So I'm actually going to open up this time with, I think we're going to go with 4 miners. That should really increase my income rapidly when they start going out here. So we get those guys rocking. Yeah, excellent. Okay, next up, it needs to be the energy income, or we're going to have a lot of trouble building more advanced units as time goes on. And I mean a lot of trouble. So we get these guys down quickly. They cost quite a lot, though. They're not very cheap. They really aren't. But like I said, when these miners get going, we should very quickly get money to build what we want here. It should be fine. What's my enemy doing, by the way? He's already going for the medium attack units. So he's not wasting time, and he wants to go in hard right at the start here. Which is okay. We should be okay. So, of course, I've got to start building my own units to counter this, or we're going to have a very hard time very quickly. So I want to probably start getting down an array of frigate yards. We'll do this over here. And I like the split I had last time, to be honest. We had a good mix of long-range vessels, which add up with spawn carriers. And also, we're going to build some generalist assault ships as well. But one of each type. Not exactly, but just ones that help kill enemies that are a bit too close. Now, they will probably beat me to my base. They're already here, actually. They're very, very quick. Remember, they build at pretty much double the speed, and they already started with attack units right away instead of economy. So let's go and split this out a little bit. Torpedo. Do you know what? We'll go for a Kestrel. Done. Cool. Also, I'm going to build some additional units, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, to assist a little bit when it comes to keeping their swarm units at bay here. So I want to have myself a few flak units, a few armor units, and then we want to have an array over this way of just general attack dudes. Just ones that just spawn in, kill enemies, simple as that. Done. Okay, so we've got to make sure we keep an eye on our economy management and expansion, because if we wait too long, we will fall behind the money game and they will get the big stuff first, which is very bad. The battle has begun. Now, these Gore Shacks actually build the kind of the same rate as these Ortels. They should start being produced soon and helping us out in the battles ahead. But they have already got quite a few guys coming my way, which is not good in any sense of the word. Need more energy. That's okay. We'll build this. Is it 150? I'll tell you what then. Build the extra engine now. By the time they both fill up again, we should have had enough to build the boy at that point. Good. Allies are up. And as you can tell with these new weapons, because they've got anti-armor, they're very quick at killing these small units. They are blasting through them very rapidly. And done. Excellent. So I need to get some more matter storage as well. Where do we fit this in though? That's my question. So we've got 1, 2. Let's build one over here. I want to make sure we leave gaps open for additional buildings as we go through. So I think one we'll have to do for now. Let's also put down a little bit more mass storage just for the future here. And done. Excellent. So when the boys up, we've got to start trying to build more and more units. And we actually have quite a bit of income right now in terms of mass. So if we can, I really want to start getting the additional mass income down to get even more of it. Excellent. So I'm going to start doing little flanking forces right away just to mess up their front line a little bit. I don't see any reason at all why we should not harass them from day one. Now, it's important to use the move command in this one so it doesn't get dragged into any conflicts nearby out of spawn, and it moves over and starts attacking over there. In theory, I should probably make this a move command as well. Done. So there's no units here yet, but we're going to put down these fellas. Now, we already know what these guys are. He's going to be the Kesh. Now, we're going to put down the Kestrel guys, which are the long-range artillery harassers. They should start really hurting the enemy up a little bit here. Now, normally I would spend time on building more mining, but as I discussed before, there's not really a lot of mining on this map, so it's not a massive deal at this point. And I've already got 4 anyway, so pretty handy. So what we'll do, along with this, we're going to put these guys down as Kestrels, and I'm also going to put down this location as matter storage. At least for now, so we can really get the income capacity so I can look around and tend my time over things. There's also no reason at all not to produce a few additional units here. I'm going to do a bit of a mix. We're going to have some spam, we're going to have some flak, and we're going to have some shrikes, and that's going to be it. Done. Okay, so the first flanking force has been created. Let's go and save it for the next one. I'm already pushing them down to their front line here. Now, you might notice that their base is different than last time. It is truly dynamic. There is no presets, as far as I know. It just does its own thing every time. Now, due to the lack of their building, though, and my increase in building rhetoric here, it's not looking good for them already. They are being pushed back quite quickly here. Now, but there's no reason to hold back, because this is a skirmish to win, not for me to show how the faction works. So, we're going to keep going, and we're going to kick their ass. We need more. So I think I haven't tried it yet, because I've been very distracted with other games, and I just haven't had a chance. When I was playing a demo, I spent like 30 odd, 40 hours in it, and I kept trying to win like, initially it was 2v1s, 3v1s, 4v1s. I wonder how far I can go, and how many guys we can kill in one sitting, I guess, or one big match. Okay, Kestrels, increase size, you get a bit bigger as well, my friend. And you, ooh, that wasn't right at all, was it? That was not what I wanted to do. Go around this flank and attack from the other side as well. Excellent. Okay, so that's their general job down, and they should get on that soon. Exactly the same layout as before. I will fit in a little bit more storage as we go, though, just because I think it's always a good idea. Let's get you guys sorted out. I like having a variety, as I mentioned before. Until I see what the enemy's main plan is, having a variety means you kind of can counter anything they do try until it becomes a bit too overwhelming. Done. Okay, so that's on the way over. And also, I'm now going to produce... Oh, we can't do it quite yet. We need to get a bit more energy storage. So in the gaps, we're going to pop down some of these guys. So something I didn't even unlock was this faction has the ability to spawn a petrol mining vessel, which is a flagship. You can actually control and move it forward and go and mine whenever you want to. It's pretty cool. So I was going to get one of those, but it looks like I might have already won the mission. Ah. Okay. Well, honestly, I've killed this faster than my attempt of, like, last week, so I don't know how I've even done this. They could, in theory, bounce back, but I've also sent units directly around the back of them, so I'm actually attacking their H... It's over. The funny thing is, people probably would have clicked off after I lost the first battle, then you just see this. There's a bit of a difference there. So that's what I was saying about doing multiple attacks at the same time. I like that they've added in APM-style AI, but maybe having, like, handicaps for us, or maybe giving them an energy boost at the start for a true 1v1 would be pretty cool, I gotta say. Regardless, though, I think this is done. I didn't even need to, in the end, use my cruisers or carriers or flank bases. I've not even pulled out half of what I could potentially have done to win this mission. But we have got this guy. Check it out. This dude has a massive amount of AoE point defense, by the way, which is pretty cool. So this guy's got a massive amount of point defense, and he spawns in his own mining drones. He's pretty awesome. But regardless, everybody, that is it for this mission, and probably for this video. So, like I said, I'm going to do these little mini showcase skirmishes. I'll try and do... The next one will be the Contalian. So it won't be tomorrow. It won't be today, it won't be tomorrow, but it'll be the other day. And then eventually we'll also do a little skirmish trying out the robot faction, the Tycon. They're not finished, but they are very interesting to play as. So yeah, if you like this video, guys, and you want to check out the game, please feel free to check out in the description. I think this game's absolutely brilliant. I think there's a lot of choices you can make here, and there's massive battles you can get to at one point. I'll tell you what, just to quickly show people, because I never did it in my main series, just playing the game normally, this is the kind of battle scale you can get to at some point. It's just a 1v1 again, with larger bases and stuff spread out, but you really can get huge things. And there's nothing stopping you from doing a 4v4 and actually bringing a 4090 to its knees, because you spawn in tens of thousands of units. It's insane. It really is. Regardless, everybody, I hope that you have all enjoyed this little video here. And as always, and do not forget, please like these videos if you've got this far. I mean, I know people always say it on YouTube, but honestly, it makes a huge difference. Now that I've not worked much last year, I am down in the dumps with my channel, and I would love to try and revive it like a phoenix this year. So any like, anything at all, just press that like button. It would make a massive difference to me, and hopefully make these channels at least as slimmer of what they were before I stopped working properly. Regardless, everybody, I hope to see you all next time. As always, please like, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye.